Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. Welcome to Rev Draws. I'm Rev already, and this is where I stream my art and share story times from Twitch and to YouTube with all you guys. Those who are watching on YouTube VODs, hi, YouTube. Now, some of these stories start off good, and some end off with a happy ending, and some end up with a crazy twist. Not many people know this, but my webtoon, Where Love Began and a Journey Within, actually based off my real life experiences. Yes, Kaoru is literally me. But for legal purposes, I'm gonna use the webtoon names for my that basically I'm gonna use the webtoon character names because like I said, this is based off of real people and I'm Kaoru. And if you guys want to follow my art journey, all my socials are linked below. All right, now let's get to story 2. We already met the craziness of Rumiko Bestia. Now let's get into the lovable blonde Ali Bellerose. All right, this is how Kaoru met Ali. Falling coffee and unexpected friendship. Now, Kaoru slash me wanted to wanted to break out of her shell. You see, because you may not know this. I hate coffee. It's the bane of my existence. AKA, it makes me sleepy, and my ADHD. I'm not with it. I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm not with it. But new beginnings. I was like, new beginnings. We're gonna try something new. Joke's on me. You know what happened to me? I fell asleep. It's I fell asleep after I drank it, but let me go into detail about how I met Allie. How Kaoru met Allie. Now, like I said, Kaoru was trying something new. She went to the Starbucks that's on campus. And she bought her first coffee. And it let me think back. Oh god. Now, mind you, Rumiko told her, download the app. She says, download the Starbucks app. You can get all the rewards, and Kaoru slash me is the damn cheapskate. Mind you that. Yes, I'm a damn cheapskate. Do be. But all that to say, Kaoru bought a venti caramel macchiato with chocolate drizzle. Because I love chocolate, I love caramel. I thought, you know what? Let me be fancy for one day too. The barista called out my name, slash Kaoru. Now, as I was, going towards to get the drink, certain blonde mad dashed and bolted and took mine. Now, mind you, We got the same drink, but hers had extra caffeine in it, and my little heart could not take it. Don't get me wrong, I had energy afterwards, but I crashed. And it was bad. I crashed and it was really, really bad. And I was like, I was like, this is before I found out with ADHD. If you have caffeine, well, some people have caffeine, it makes them crash. Fortunately, I was one of them victims. Some people can, drink it, others can't. Unfortunately, I was one of those victims. Like I said, I fall asleep. I hang out with Digi every once in a while, and he's like, I can drink it just fine. As an artist, we have to drink coffee. And you see, because of that, I choose to drink tea. Tea is essential for the soul. And, I thought I was going to be special today. Ah, fudge. I thought I was going to be, I was going to be like, you know what? Let me try a new color to do the liner. Jokes on me. I ain't doing that. But yes. So, it made me crash, but I had hell of energy. Now, mind you, after, she grabbed hers, she was like, it's just weak as hell. And that's what, Kaoru realized, oh crap, we grabbed the wrong drink. And from grabbing the wrong drink, now mind you, I meant to add, Kaoru sat down at some point and he was like, man, it's strong as hell. I wonder how much energy I'll have. How about Kaoru had enough energy to finish her paper and her math homework before her tutor looked at it? She was on a mission. She finished everything. And then Allie came over saying, hey, did you have a venti? Did you have a venti caramel macchiato with chocolate drizzle? And Carl said, yeah. Did it have like a kick of more caffeine in it? And Carl's like, yeah, actually. That was actually mine. And she said, I'm sorry. I mad dashed and saw yours and I just, thought it was mine. But I'm not mad. It's my fault. My screw up. So how about this? I can pay you back. How about this? I'll pay you back. Now, I'm not really, now at the time I wasn't really like, I wasn't going to like, be mean and say pay for it for me. No, that's not the kind of person I was and am. I did the next best thing and told her, you don't have to pay me back. It's just a mix. No, no, don't gotta do anything special. She's like, but I have to. And Kaoru said, no, seriously, not that big of a deal. But unfortunately, she was adamant. So, I was let her do it to get out of her. Hope she gets it out of her system. Well, guess what? She got out of her system, all right. he actually gave Kaoru a he actually gave her a gift card with $50 on it. Now most people would be like, "Did you spend the money on it?" Absolutely. Don't worry, you guys. I spent the money. Um, but yeah, I spent the money, and after I spent the money, I had to, Rimiko found out about it, but later that day, Kaoru ran into Allie again, but this time it was mad dasher to class. Now, mind you, caffeine can sometimes give people a hell of energy. This girl ran off. This girl ran off. She was talking to Kaoru again, but this time around, she mad dash. She was like, she looked at her phone. Like, oh my god, I'm late. I'm late for class. And just mad dash to class. And Carl was like, wait. The handout wait. Like, wait. Because as she ran, her student ID fell out of her pocket. And at the time, that's when she found out her first name was an Allie. But like I said, confidential purposes, I can't say her real name. So she saw that Allie wasn't her first name, and she called her by her first name. And she was like, "Who's calling?" She shrugged her head. She shrugged after that and just, minded her business and just went on with her day. Because after that, Kaoru couldn't find her for the life of her. The Kaoru was like, where is she? Does she live on campus? Does she live in the doors? Where is she? That's the external dread she had looking for her. Now, mind you, once she found her, for mad dash to to the to the to the crosswalk. Now, Carl slash me used to run track. So I used to be very fast. I used to run the 400. Now, mind you, because of that, and mind you, another thing, I was wearing a dress when this happened, by the way. A dress. I was wearing a dress, and I had to run. Like, I basically had to go back into track mode. And I was wearing a dress, by the way, and cute sandals. So I looked good that day. But I literally had to hike up my maxi dress and run over to her. Now, mind you, I was in sandals, cute sandals at that. The ones that have the protection over the whole sandal. Those are the ones I had like a little diamond on it. And I had to run in them. It is a miracle I did not ruin the shoes. I still have them to this very day. That's the crazy part. And they're complete good condition. I mad dashed to her. Carver's mad dash to her. And mind you, another thing, she had a book bag on her back. And she had it on her back. She did not take it off her back. Then you pull it to the side and hold it. She ran with it. And once she ran, kind of got back to her, tapped her shoulder, said, "Hey, she's, hey, take your ID." And then Allie randomly said,
I was looking for that, actually. Thank you so much.
now, another thing is this too. In she was in one of the old buildings that is all the way down. So basically, I ran. I Kaoru slash I ran for about 15 minutes, just jogging, just jogging, and I was, I was winded. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, she better get, she gonna get this ID. I'm not running anymore. That's what Karu said eternally. You better get this ID. All this put me all this damn trouble. But like I said, once I gave her the ID, she said, I don't know why, but I feel like we're supposed to be friends. And Karu was like, I think so too. And that's when once they went over to camp or went over to the dorms, she found out she lived in the same dorm as her. She just lived on the second floor. And at the time, Karu lived on Karu literally lived on the lived on the first floor. So, first floor, easy to get in that bad boy. You don't gotta walk all the way up some stairs. Don't get me wrong, walking is good, but mm-mm. And then it was easy to move into. Look, because I can only imagine being winded after walking up those stairs for a hot minute. Very winded. At the time when I went to college, I was very out of shape. I haven't ran in a long time. I was very out of shape. I was forced to go back in shape. But that's another story for another day. But I said, very winded. But after that, she led her to her room and they talked and they found out they had more in common than they knew and they thought. So as this all was playing out, Rumiko's like, hey, where are you? She called her and said, hey, where are you? And Kaoru said, I found a new person we can talk to. We can we can talk to her. She's gonna be our new friend. Now mind you, Rumiko is very skeptical at the moment. But Kaoru slash me, I am very optimistic. So I'm like, okay. But come on. We gotta diversify. Like, come on, we gotta diversify our friend group, man. And then Oscar Ola. We gotta diversify our friend group. We can't be doing this, yo. But yes, diversify. I said, hey man, we gotta diversify. I said, hey man, we gotta diversify our group. We can't be doing N-word stuff. We're better than this. Now, Rubicon was defended, which is when we said that. And we're doing N-word stuff. We can't do that no more. We need to diversify our friend group. So, we did. And Allie was the first one to do it. We hung out with her. And after, we hung out with her, we had, fun. And as I'm drawing this, I bet you guys are wondering, why am I doing couple this stuff? Why am I doing couple art? Well, there's a catch to it. Now, my webtoon is also a novel. And you can read it on web novel, Wattpad, actually. And you can also read it on Banana. Those are the only ones I have so far on those platforms. And you see, on those platforms, I'm already you see, the thing is, I'm already on a whole different book. I'm on book 4, which is kind of it's basically Allie's arc. Now, mind you, when basically the story is like this, I give my characters their own time to shine in their different books. As you see, book 1, Kaoru's arc, in a sense. Well, not really Kaoru, it's more of an introduction kind of arc. Book 2, Katsu's arc. And book 3 is Ali slash Kaoru's arc, but mostly Ali's. And because it's Ali, that's basically Ali's arc. And just like book 2 and book 3, I split it up into little their own arcs. And you see in here. And you see, like I said, I'm on book 4. Now, because I'm on book 4, certain things such as you see out for people who read my webtoon. For people who read, like I said, the people who read my webtoon, it's kind of hinted that he likes her. It's very hinted, by the way. He loves her. And that he wants to date her he likes her. He doesn't feel like he has a smoke he has no way in hell to date her. Because, in his eyes, a guy like him doesn't deserve happiness. In which that's stupid. In a sense. Well, to me it's kind of stupid. Everybody deserves happiness. Even if it's with someone that they feel a certain way about. But everybody, I feel like this, in all honesty, everyone deserves love. Everyone deserves happiness. Even me. But I digress. Basically, he has his arc. In I believe it's part 2. And in part 2, that is where I think it's part two. I believe it's part two. Where I'll just come back to that. But I believe it's part two. When I believe. Yeah, it is part one. Oh man, I forgot. But basically, he kind of confesses his love to her. And he thinks he's a sweet guy, so he said yes. And at the same time, she's the peace he's always desired in life. Back to the story. Now, as as you know, as Rumiko kind of, got used to her, they started we all started hanging they all started hanging out, going all kind of places. Now mind you, as these three were going, places and having fun, there was a problem. And that problem was Simone's openly racist roommate. They were being very problematic, saying, "Why are you hanging out with them? You're better than that." And Allie said, "No." She's like, "No, they're good people." Saying they're good people. They haven't done anything wrong to me. They're very friendly. I think they're friendly, and they have never caused harm to me. The most they've done, basically saying the most they've done, teach me how to cook. Yes, yes. Kaoru slash cook, but Rumiko Rumiko's real life counterpart can cook. I'm extremely envious, but at the same time, it's like it is what it is. Mm. But yeah, it's basically like, it is what it is. But yes, she can throw down. I'm kind of jealous about the fact that I can't throw down like her. And yes, if you're wondering what's this box over here, unfortunately, I'm too lazy to. Unfortunately, I'm extremely too lazy to go manually into my color palette and put the colors in. But thank God for being inventive. Thank God for this asset and the asset store. It makes your girl's life easy. Because it's cool when you do it manually, but it's not fun when you're struggling and you're like, I don't know what color I want to put together for this. I downloaded this asset and I've been using this ever since. And I'm in love. And if you and also for anyone who wants to draw Ali, Kaoru, or Rumiko, I actually have their I actually, believe it or not, have their color I have their reference sheets up. If you guys want to look at that. I plan on doing the guys next. Don't worry, I'm gonna do the guys next. And also for those who want to read, well, not just yet, but I will say this. Towards the end, if you want to know, there's a bit of a shocker. It'll shock everyone, basically. Those who read. Let's put it like this. I'll leave you with this. Allie has a cousin. Allie has a cousin. And the way she looked may shock you. That's the only thing I can tell you. Shock you. But back to back to what I was saying. Be a shameless promotion. But it is what it is. But back to, like I said, back to what we talked, back to what I mentioned. Racist roommates being racist. Teaching her how to cook. Be honest with you, we taught her to make kind of cakes. Which she was in love with the cake. Now, but we both wonder, hey, it's okay to eat the cakes. Just be careful that you don't indulge in them too much. We don't want you getting itis. Now, she asked, what's the itis? We gave her the rundown on what the itis is. She was like, oh, that's what the itis is? Yeah. You eat until you get tired. Says, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay, good. Rebecca said, okay, good. I'm glad you know. But after, after that whole debacle, Allie was mentioning, hey, like, oh yeah, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, my childhood friend of mine. But he always works all the time, so I don't really get to see him. Like, at the time, we were like, oh, she doesn't see her friend. That makes her sad. We were, all the three of us were like, two of us were like, oh, she misses her friend. And then she said, I kid you not, these words. I said, we're friends. I didn't say I missed him. Don't get it twisted. I'm sorry. We laughed so hard. But she said, don't get it twisted. He gets on my nerves. I was like, oh my gosh, man. You can't talk about him like that now. That bad of a person. She told us. He gets, then she said, yes, he is. He gets on my goddamn nerves. I'm like, oh God, she's telling it. Oh, oh, oh. us how you really feel. You know, Kaoru said, tell us how you really feel. But as she complained about it, all we could do is just laugh. You know, well, he can't be that bad. He can't be that aggravating. Jokes on, well, Kaoru's case, jokes on her. She found out the hard way. Jokes on her. She found out the hard way. Like, ah. But yes, jokes on her. She found out the hard way. Through the fact that, put it this way. All I to say, let's just say she meets that friend next time. Now that I told you how that story goes, let me finish this. Let me finish up this illustration. But if you got, but let's put it this way. It like this. But after, she talked really bad about him. She said, you know what, let's go out, go get something to eat now. Just nonchalantly. Just nonchalantly. I just thought about it. She nonchalantly said that about him. Like his like it just smoothed over like she never said that. We were all like, the both of us were like, he really hates him. Like, what does he do? What does he do with her? It gets revealed how badly he gets on her nerves. And he ends up getting on Karu's nerves. Aoi Yoshida gets on her goddamn nerves. Karu's last nerve. Got on her nerves. It's funny enough, he called her as kind of called her as we were hanging out, as Karu and Rumiko were hanging out, on there, you know, she it's the what she said and the way she said it. What the hell do you want, Howie? He literally said, why are you talking to me like this? Excuse the fact that you may hear rattling in the background. I did not eat breakfast this morning. Bear with me. It's the way she said it to him was what made it funny. It was hilarious. The way she said it. You want. Oh, God. Really get on her nerves. And then, I'm too curious for my own good sometimes. I got the nerve to ask, does he really get on your nerves like that? He said, he sometimes comes out, he's saying, she said herself, he is he's a very sweet guy, but he's very sweet and he has a heart of gold. I just need him to act. Like, I just need him to not be so childish at times. But at the same time, she said, I worry about him. She said, I'm worried about him. I truly am worried about him because I feel like he does not want to be here anymore. Um, you know, when you think about when somebody says doesn't want to be here anymore, but I was thinking like, oh, he doesn't want to go to school here anymore. But it's the way she looked. It was her concerning expression that gave it away. And and at that moment, Kaoru put two together and said, "Oh, so that's what he has going on." And then I said, "Yeah, I'm worried about him. He says, I just want him to be okay and not do anything stupid." But I understand. Like, I really get it. I understand what he means. But I will say this. Once Kaoru meets him, he really does try to do all that, what she's worried about. And it concerns Kaoru too. But but I will say this. He said, but unfortunately, I think I know ways he'd do it. And I feel like she laughed about it at first. Because I didn't know if she was trying to laugh off the pain, or we didn't know she was laughing off the pain, but it's really funny because he literally would say certain things. He literally said he's allergic to everything. He's about allergic to every goddamn thing under the sun. And we were like, oh, we just hee hee ha ha, like she was just being, funny. find out he really is allergic to every goddamn thing under the sun. Like, it's so bad that, he has the, traditional allergy. He has the traditional, nut nut allergy, and then he has the shellfish allergy. He's allergic to pet dander. What else? He's allergic to a lot of stuff. I feel bad for his next girlfriend. He probably can't eat anything. She can't eat seafood. Can't eat none of that. She just have to eat and stuff. God bless her. I feel so bad for her. He may be a seafood lover. Who knows? And then she gotta deal with him. The fact that she can't eat what she used to. You heard me. But yeah. But funny enough. Well, it's not funny that he has all those allergies. But the funny thing of it all is that because he has those allergies, he can get out of eating a lot of stuff. Because, like I said, I'm going to mention him next time. I will mention this. We went out somewhere one time. It was all 8 of us. Well, Kaoru and the gang basically went out somewhere to eat. Because as Kaoru ate, as they went out, had to deal with one specific thing. Unfortunately, yes, there's one thing I will say. We went to Charleston when we were in college. Charleston, South Carolina. We went down for, a mini vacation. Now, mind you, Rumiko, it's from Charleston, North Charleston to be exact. She was, she gave the offer, why don't we go down to Charleston? Cara was like, let's do this. And then everybody else was like, okay. Now, mind you, in the South, some restaurants do cross contamination. So, while everybody else was eating seafood, he was eating a chicken sandwich. He was so mad. But Kaoru, she wasn't trying to be mean, but she said, "Did you ever thought about getting an allergy test, a new allergy test?" And he never thought about it. He said, "I should get one when we get back." And then Allie just randomly blurted out, "He's not going." Then because of that, well, damn, I hate them. Allie stopped eating her seafood scampi and said, "I'm not gonna lie to you. I know he won't. I've known him long enough to know that he won't do it." Now, Tomoe and Liam were like, she's right. He's not gonna do it. Yeah, I don't have no faith in this man. Like, what the hell? Like, but damn, have faith in them. Some sort of faith. Like, have some faith in the dude. Damn. I'm like, damn, have faith in him. And they were petty enough to say, we do have faith in him. You know, Tillboy was like, we do have faith in him. It's just that academically. Oh, it was like, what the hell is that supposed to be? And Rubiko was no better saying, you're not street smart. Sorry, my child, you're not street smart. You are book smart. You are book smart, my friend. Which I died laughing. You are book smart, my friend. You are book smart. And yes, if you see me doing this, where I show the model, because and I like I said last time, because I like making things look realistic. I usually try to do that. Usually, try to make it look as realistic as possible. But that's only clothes wise. I don't do all that. Oh, I just make it realistically. Color wise, as look. When I first started doing my webtoon, I used to make it so realistic, shading and all. And then I realized it was time consuming. I was like, hey, it's very time consuming. Absolutely not. Mm-mm. As you see, now it looks realistic. But yeah. Mm-mm. Let me see if I can find a brush. How you back? Thank God for this one too. Now, mind you, if you're wondering why are I using this, why are I using the Express and why are I using an Express remote? Because my Express remote has been acting funny on me, and I gotta reset it. And God knows I don't want to reset it. I don't want to reset it. Oh no! I forgot to add our shine to it. I have to add the highlight to the hair. see how I see. Alright, I'm done with using. Oh, let's see what I'm getting today. Oh, I'm doing great. How are you? See if I can find some. I ain't got enough for him. I'm gonna do the very thing I hate doing. You know what? I'll just, I'm not gonna do it. All right, I am done. Believe it or not, when it comes down to the yellow I have right here, what I use with the airbrush tool, they're in front of a fire. I was thinking about putting like a crackle sound and like a sound bubble or like or I was thinking about putting a sound, not a sound bubble, but sound effect right about here ish. But I'm like, I ain't doing all that. But if you guys want me to do that, that's fine too. But wait, let me fix that. Lord. Yes. But basically, I'm done. This is called Custom Alley New. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? For those who follow me on Twitter, you will see you will you'll see the old version and this version of this art piece. Let's put it like this. It looks way better. But yes, I'm done. Well, all that to say, my name is Rev Arvoridia, and my name's Rev Arvoridia, and this is the end of the second story. See you guys later. Bye.